She's got ribbons and paper, a cauldron of glue. With every creation, she's spooking the crew. The black cats purr and the witches all cheer for the magic she spins this time of year. Oh, Indiana Jones, you're the talk of the night, with your Halloween craft shining so bright. Bats and spiders and a ghostly delight. Indiana Jones keeps the season just right.
Hello dear friends, old and new, and welcome to my channel, Crafting with me, Indiana Jones. Today we are doing the last thing thrifted with my friends Dawn of Shabby Meets Bling, Jody at Southern Seasons, Marika of Marika's Creations, Shelly at Repurposed My Way, Monica of Up All Night DIY, and yours truly. Let's see what we gathered together from the thrift stores to make a little spooky for Halloween this year. Recently, I went thrifting at a thrift shop near my office, so I went at lunchtime and I found this beautiful potions and poisons cart, and it was originally $30. I did get it for $9. But in my stash, I had this little horse, which I think I got for like $1.99 or $2.99, and he was part of my Headless Horseman display. But because I didn't glue on the horseman, I could use him for this. Now, the only thing I didn't like about the this cart was that it looked too new. So I'm using some antique wax or antique glaze just to like give it a little bit of age so those letters aren't perfectly white. The other thing I didn't like are those bats kind of look like hearts for some reason, but they're little red bats. So I went and I painted each one of the bats black just to make it stand out a little more, and I think I like it a lot more. Now, I really didn't have to do much to this potions and poisons cart, but I did want to bring it to life by adding some potions and poisons. So I had this little, I guess, treasure box in my stash. So all I'm going to do is use that gel once again, the same antiquing gel. And now I'm just going to antique or stain this little, it's amazing how this, when you have this blank wood and once you add stain, any stain of your choice, what a difference it makes. And to add a little more character, I'm just on the edges of everything, I'm adding a little bit of black paint, and this is matte black paint. It's not a gel or anything, but I am going to blend it in just to give this little cart's I guess treasure box, I don't know what to call it, but this is where all the potions and poisons are. And then I started thinking to myself, well, this cart doesn't have a driver, but does it have to? No, because it's magical. And in the town, whenever there was something going amiss, you'd be sure to see this, like, it's not horseless, but it's a, I guess, self-driven cart. Oh, I had these Tim Holtz bottles and these Dollar Tree bottles, and these are what I'm going to use in this little chest here. So imagine this unmanned cart coming in, being led by a horse that's not even attached to the cart, but it appears only when there's a need in the town. So when some unexplicable need arises in the town that needs a little bit of magic, that's when this cart appears. Now, look at this idea. I had some extra little bottles and I decided, like, wouldn't it be cool that the only thing that would light this cart would be jars filled with lightning bugs? Wouldn't that be cool? So it's these little jars filled with lightning bugs that light the way for this cart. Obviously, there's a spooky glow to the cart itself because there's nobody there, right? So now to the cart, all I'm going to add are my spooky little potion bottles. Look how cool it looks at night. And it's ready to go to visit the town that needs it most. Next, I gathered together all the foliage that I had gotten through thrift stores, like all these pumpkins. I actually found the whole bag just as it is at the thrift store. I think it was a church bazaar, not a thrift store, but I kept it since last year. Some of these are Dollar Tree purchases. Others I've just had in my stash. And this beautiful grapevine wreath I actually found at a garage sale for like $2, which is ridiculously cheap. Now, all I'm going to do is, so for some of these leaves, what I did, because I had so many and some of them were kind of raggedy, what I did was I painted them black, or I painted them gold or silver. As you can see, there are some, the oak leaves are silver, these oak leaves are black, and I left a little bit of the original. Oh, and here's the most beautiful creation ever, of course, my little cat Luna. She's not so little, she almost fills the hole in the wreath, which is a pretty big wreath, but that's okay. She's always welcome to join me as I craft. Now, I do have an inspiration wreath, and as you can see, somehow, I guess Luna, when she stepped over my computer to get off of my table, she stopped my filming, but that's okay. All I did here was add the florals, or I should say just a leaf or a foliage that I had painted to the wreath itself. And I did add a little bit of hot glue, not too much, just a little bit of hot glue. I don't like to ruin the wreath if I want to use it for something else. These pumpkins that I had bought in a bag again at Church Bazaar, they were all just in a bag together with the pine cones, and they just charged me $1, and that was fine since I was supporting a fundraiser anyway. And what I'm doing here is just adding some wire to the little pumpkins and adding a little bit of glue just to secure it in place. As I mentioned before, I do have a wreath that's a larger size on my door that I got at the garage sale, or I should say Church Bazaar. And I just loved it so much, but there was only one and I have a 2-door entry. So I decided to make a smaller but similar wreath. It looks a little off, but hey, for me, it's just fine. And maybe if I add some more leaves, I just wanted to use what I already had in my stash. And I want to inspire you all to use what you have in your stash. I'm sure you have a lot of stuff. You don't need to buy more craft supplies, but it's always nice to check and see what's out there so you can buy things that are on clearance or a good sale. So here I'm adding those sparkly pine cones because the original has pine cones as well. And the pumpkins are natural color and others have a little bit of a gold color to them. I did add a little bit of copper color to those pumpkins just to keep it within the autumnal season of colors. But I really love the way this came out. It's a fall wreath without being a fall wreath like in your face because of the darker colors. It's almost like a dark academia autumn wreath. But I really love the way it turned out. I hope you like it too, and I hope you get a chance to recreate a wreath that you might find in a store, in a thrift store, and make it your own, as you can see here. I fell in love with this snack cart, and then I found this wonderful doll from the Dollar Tree, which reminded me so much of Wednesday Addams. So I thought, let's create a trick or treat cart. Here I am using Grabby Cutout and Stick It collage book that they sent to me. I will go into more detail with this product, but I am just stunned at the beautiful projects that you can come up with these projects. There's stickers, there's papers. Look at this beautiful paper. Who doesn't love a black and orange Harlequin paper? Well, I can tell you, I really love it, and I think it's perfect for the backdrop of this little snack cart. So all I'm going to do is paint the snack cart black just to get it primed for the rest of the accessories that I shall add to it. Now, just so you know, I am using Folk Art matte black paint. Folk Art also has a plastic paint, but believe it or not, I feel like this Folk Art paint does very, very well. However, I do feel like I have to secure the paint, so I might do a bit of an overcoat with Mod Podge just to make sure that nothing scratches off. So here I'm finishing off the back of the cart because of course I want it to look good on both sides. And now here I'm just putting the black at the bottom of that little snack cart. So I thought the premise of this, I thought it would be cute that Wednesday and her Uncle Fester go into business and he sends her off to sell potions and poisons, or tricks or treats, we like to call them, on his behalf, since she's, cute. And Uncle Fester's a little scary looking to me sometimes, but he has his own cuteness. Now I'm going to add that Harlequin paper to the back of this little cart where it has a display. Now I found something very interesting about this cart, and I'll share more about it later, but this cart actually has a battery pack. So I got all excited because I thought, I wonder what this is going to turn on once I put the batteries in. Now, it could roll forward, it could play music. There's an abundance of things that could happen. Now I'm using the sticker book once again from Grabby to use some of these stickers to decorate the front of this little party truck, or I should say food truck, dessert food truck. And I'm just going to add them right there to the front just to make it simple, because it's very hard to get painting on that side. I decided these tapes would be perfect. Now you can use washi tape or anything you like if you see something similar out in the wild. Once I have the paper in place, now I decided to take that pink trim that looked like ice cream and actually make it look like green slime. So I'm hoping I do it justice, but yes, I had to create my own green slime with my folk art paints to get this color. Since again, I'm trying to use the resources that I have readily available to me. I think the oozing goop really sells it as an Addams establishment. Now for the very top, I decided to use some white paint because I do have some titles or labels that is included in the Grabby box that I thought would be perfect for this occasion. Now, before I put the lettering in the sign, I thought it would be cool to add a little bit of that iridescent or glow-in-the-dark goo that appears at the bottom of the little food carriage. Food carriage? I don't know, what do I call it? Is a food truck, food carriage, whatever it is. This is something else that mysteriously appears only on Halloween night, so that trick-or-treaters don't go hungry or tired and continue with the trick-or-treating tradition until midnight. Now I'm adding some beads to take the form of, I guess, candies or poisons, whatever you want to call them. But they are there in these little bins. And I thought it would be cute because that way we can give them to, I don't know, you can have them there or pretend to give them out as candies, as trick-or-treats. Although I don't know if I would want to take candy from Wednesday Addams. Would you? I would always be scared they'd be, spiked with something. Anyway, here I am using a little bit of alcohol. I actually use alcohol instead of water so that they don't, smell funny or cause algae or anything like that. I'm adding a little bit of resin dye and a little bit of mica powder to give it a little iridescent glow, as you can see there. But I'm creating my own little potions and poisons and tricks and treats, whatever you think that Addams family would provide to their neighbors and friends. This one is a yellow dye that is also glow in the dark. And here I've just added all of these little bottles. I'm just gluing them in place so they don't fall out. And here I found, of all things, a crystal ball. How perfect is that? So I'm going to glue the little crystal ball right there in between the two bottles because I think it's just so fitting that people would come not only for tricks and treats, but maybe a little bit of information or divination, I should say. So here I'm getting together some candies from my Christmas stash and I'm adding them to a jar. Now here I'm looking for some lettering again in that Grabby Halloween sticker book. It's such a great deal. There's so many stickers, so many beautiful papers. I wish I had had this in the summertime. I would have been creating so many more things, but keep your eyes open because I will have a Grabby box opening so you can see all the different pages and you can see another project that I use Grabby to create with. Now I put batteries in the pack and can you believe that it works? And not only that it works, but it actually has purple and orange lights. How much more perfect could this be? But now we need Wednesday Addams to help sell all those tricks and treats. And here she is. And again, this is a $1.25 little doll that they had at the Dollar Tree. I like to give her underwear. I don't know. I have a thing with, dolls that are undressed. And I had that ever since I was little. I don't know. I would always put underwear on them. I don't know. maybe it's me, too modest, whatever. And I decided instead of trying to recreate her dress, just to take the dress that she had that fits her perfectly, paint it black, and add long sleeves. As you can see, I just painted her arms black. But look how perfect she is. She has those big brown eyes and those pigtails. How perfect is this to create your own little Wednesday Addams doll? So if you have a child or a grandchild or niece or nephew or anything, and they are absolutely in love with the new Wednesday Addams series, then you should go and create a little doll for her. All I did also was add a little collar because it was already there in the plastic, so I just painted it white, and I added a little belt just so you can see the differentiate. Now because that was an apron, I had to add a little tiny piece of fabric to the back so that her back would be covered. And look at that, the boots and everything, just perfect. So again, all I'm doing now is touching up any part of the paint that fell off, and now she is ready to sell her tricks and treats. Let's see everything all together.
Pumpkins on the porch, glowing gold. Raggedy ghosts sway, shiver in the cold. Leaves whisper secrets to the biting air. A witch hat's tossed, forgotten, near the rocking chair. Oh, pumpkins and raggedy ghosts, witch hats by the fire, where shadows boast, black cats cozy, curled up tight. Halloween's here, under the moon's pale light. Lanterns flicker, dancing low. Jack-o'-lantern grins, a mischievous glow. The wind hums tunes of spectral.
Thanks again to all of my friends, Dawn of Shabby Meets Bling, Jody at Southern Seasons, Marika of Marika Creations, Shelly at Repurpose My Way, Monica of Up All Night DIY, and everyone that joined us in this Last Thing Thrifted open collaboration. Thank you for stopping by, and if you enjoyed this, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay safe, be kind, God bless each and every one of you, and remember to live the adventure, and I'll see you again very, very soon.
Witch hats by the